Paul was approachable, very understanding, and he was able to strike up a bond or a conversation, even as basic as that, with everyone he met. And he just had this lust for life and meeting people. He really was friends with everybody.
Paul was a very caring, generous spirit, always wanted to include everyone. He really was inspired by different brains, finding the goodness in every different person and like why they were so unique.
He was a very connected kid. By that, I mean he had circles that circled the circles.
Whether it was with his teammates, his friends, the youth players, the Appalachian Service Project, he was just extremely caring. It was never about him.
He just left this impact. When you walked away from PJ, you felt special? Like you felt like an individual who had just been valued and affirmed?
He was this guy who had this kind of easygoing nature about himself, and I always admired that he was really carefree and that he just seemed to kind of roll with it.
Whether you were actually part of his immediate family or his larger extended family, if you were in, I mean, you were in for life. He really was an amazing son, brother. I say leader because he really was someone that I looked up to him. I followed him wherever he wanted to go, but I wasn't alone.
He was a natural leader. When he spoke, people listened. People wanted to be around him, whether it be school or sports.
BC High's motto was a man for others, and I think PJ embodied that spirit, the whole thing.
He reached out to other people, and I think in a world where people sometimes worry about themselves, he was more worried about others. And that, I think, is why he embodies the mission of our school so well. And I think it also carries forth to the mission of this foundation.
The PJT Memorial Foundation is a nonprofit charitable organization that we've set up to honor the life and legacy of Paul. The real purpose of the organization is to give back to the local community with a very strong focus towards youth services, youth health issues.
The PJT Memorial Foundation and Youth Health Connection have allowed us to forge a partnership to develop a 1-year, 5-school pilot project called the Wellness Initiative. It's peer-led, teen-driven, teen-designed, enabling us to reach endless numbers of kids, teachers, parents, administrators, and others in the community.
This particular type of donation coming from your group has gone into the PJ mystical, magical kingdom area at the farm. The children that are helped by that are usually spending a lot of time in hospitals and institutional settings. And when they come here, they can just relax and feel safe.
Social Service League shares sort of a similar mission that the PJ Foundation has, and that is to help those in need. And we're able to provide immediate assistance. And the grant that we received from PJ's foundation was able to do some wonderful things for families in crisis. And I think PJ would be really proud of supporting people in our community.
It's nice to be able to give to a number of different organizations and really spread the impact, and quite frankly, carry out Paul's name and legacy with several different groups of people.
You can either wallow in the sadness and the constant questioning of why did this happen, or you can take all of the things that that person embodied and lived for and live double for them, because he would want to be here still living his life. So I can't stop because he's not able to do that. I have to do it for both of us, and I think a lot of people do that for him. The
type of person that Paul was is evidenced every August during the golf tournament. People are signing up, and there's a waiting list to come to this tournament, to come to this event. This didn't start with money in the bank. This is something that just really kind of started on its own and snowballed in a very good way. There's no way we could do this without the support of the local community. I think a lot about what he would be doing if he was here today. I have a pretty good idea. One of the things I would like to say to him is how much he meant to me and how much he meant to his family and his friends. To be able to, be loved at the level that he was and still is is remarkable. So I'd like to be able to reciprocate that and just let him know how much he meant to me, my family, and our friends.
He was trying to convince me to bring my lacrosse gear down to St. Joseph's and try out for the team. I had no confidence in myself and my abilities to do so, but he was pretty much adamant to do so. And I ended up bringing my gear down and, playing for him, made the team, and since then has pretty much changed my life, career. And just I would want to thank him for pushing me.
I would thank him for being such a huge part of who I am today, and I'm really happy with the direction that my life is headed, and that he's like giving me this guiding force that makes me feel like I'm doing the right thing.
That was what the beauty of PJ and Paul. There was just that quietness and yet that exuberance, and he brought those two together beautifully. A mentor for all of us.